Fox Sports.
We are La Force. We are St. Louis.
This is St. Louis Cardinals baseball on the banks of the Ohio at the Great American Ballpark. It's a day game. The rubber game between the St. Louis Cardinals and the Cincinnati Reds. Jim Hayes is here. That's the Cardinals Hall of Famer Jim Edmonds. I'm Dan McLaughlin. Sal Romano, a veteran, gets the call today for the Cincinnati Reds, and another rookie starter in this series for the Cardinals, and that's Jack Flaherty.
Yeah, Jack Flaherty has been doing a pretty good job this year. He's been especially doing a nice job in day games, but you see his record against the Central, but I'm impressed. He's 3-0 in day games, and he's going to need a good start today for the Cardinals to get a win.
Very good slider that we talk about so much. 2-1 against the Central, an ERA just above 2. It's been a fun series. The rookies have stole the show. Does another one do that today? We're about to find out. Jack Flaherty and the Cardinals coming up. Wherever legendary MLB moments happen, Budweiser will be there. And by Chevrolet, the #1 selling brand in the St. Louis area. Find yours at your Mid-America Chevy dealer. Big win for the Cardinals last night. Now the rubber game this afternoon, and a beautiful afternoon in the Queen City of Cincinnati. It's game number 3. The St. Louis Cardinals and the Cincinnati Reds. 84 degrees, along with the Cardinals Hall of Famer Jim Edmonds and Jim Hayes. I'm Dan McLaughlin. There's a look at Mike Schilt. A lot of good moves made by Mike last night. They paid off, and the Cardinals have gotten very good starting pitching from their rookies. Matt Carpenter at the top of the lineup, followed by Yadier Molina. Then Paul DeYoung, Marcell Ozuna, Jose Martinez at first base again. Dexter Fowler, the game-winning home run in the 11th. Jairo Munoz, game-saving play in the 10th. Harrison Bader, and the pitcher batting ninth, Jack Flaherty. This would be career start number 37 for Sal Romano this far this year. He's made 19 starts, did have a relief appearance that was against the Cardinals. He's 5-8 with a 5.19 ERA. His Hyundai pitch arsenal: the fastball, slider, curve, and changeup. Throws the fastball 66% of the time. Boy, you'd like to see the Cardinals, after dropping 3 of 5 in Chicago, splitting the first 2, pick up a win today, have the off day tomorrow, and then go in ready and refreshed against Chicago in the weekend series.
Get a little something to build on too. And we talked about Romano throwing a lot of fastballs. He's a little erratic too, and he gives up a lot of home runs. I believe he's given up 19 home runs. Only one guy has given up more in the entire league. So this would be an interesting matchup too. Nice day game, good ballpark to hit. This would be a big win right now for the Cardinals.
Behind Romano defensively for the Cincinnati Reds. Around the horn, presented by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. Duvall, Hamilton, Irvin in the outfield. Suarez, Peraza, Jeanette, and Votto on the infield. And last year's Gold Glove winner, Tucker Barnhart, he's behind the plate. First pitch to Carpenter, fouled back. The only other pitcher in the National League that has given up more home runs, as Jimmy was saying, 20, was Julio Teheran, the right-hander of the Atlanta Braves. 25 home runs this season for Carpenter. That's out of play. Home runs per 9 in the major leagues this year. And Romano on a list that he does not want to be on. He's in the top 5 in that category. But a home run hitter right now at the plate in Matt Carpenter. A shift on the right side of the infield. And Carpenter lifts a fly ball out to shallow left. And the catch is not made by Suarez, and Carpenter a wide turn around the bag at first, and he'll stop there. Boy, not an easy play at all. Good attempt by Suarez, and comes up short. It's ruled a base hit.
I got to believe right there that left fielder's got to catch that ball. Adam Duvall wasn't running that hard, and the thing for the outfielder coming in is you kind of glance down and look at the infielder to see how smoothly he's running. He was running nice and smooth. I think that ball stayed up there so long and carried for so far into the outfield that made it a little tougher. But Adam Duvall, I believe, has got to catch that ball.
Here's Yadier Molina. And strike one. 96 on that fastball from Romano. Molina 2 for 3 and a pair of RBI against this right-hander. The whiff percentage against the fastball, 5th worst in baseball. Talk about how it's straight. You got a 2-seamer and a 4-seamer, and maybe for young fans or fans in general that don't know, explain the difference.
Well, the 2-seamer is just gripped with the 2 seams of the horseshoe, and the ball's going to run a little bit more. Some guys can actually make that happen, and some guys can't. Maybe he's one of those guys that doesn't have a lot of run to his fastball. 4-seamer ball's going to be a little straighter and a little more true. You know, even though he's throwing in the upper 90s, which 96, you might be able to see the ball really well out of his hand.
And that ball drops in front of Irvin. So a pair of back-to-back hits, little bloop singles for both Carpenter and Molina.
Even though these balls weren't hit hard, I like to see this. Not trying to do too much, not trying to pull off, knowing that he gives up a lot of home runs. Sometimes you just got to put the ball in play, stay through the ball, good things happen.
Here's Paul DeYoung with runners at first and second. Outfield is straight away. that's ripped into right. Irvin, a diving catch to take a hit away. And both runners back to first and second base. Well, Votto, I think he thought that ball was going to get down and was setting up as a cutoff man for a throw to the plate.
Yeah, this is a crazy play right here. Carpenter's running all the way to third. Yachty's off at first. Votto's in the wrong spot. Watch the throw in right here. Just hits Yachty. It's like a circus going on out there right now.
You know, baseball is such a weird game. The first two guys bloop it, pick up base hits, and DeYoung hits a screaming
to
right. And it turns into an out.
You ask any hitter, and they always say they even out. And every hitter in the big leagues will tell you that they don't.
Here's Marcell Ozuna. And a fastball taken high. Outfield is straight away for Marcell. A gorgeous day here in Cincinnati. Clearly the idea, looks like, at least initially, is be aggressive on the fastball against Romano. Cardinals' first three hitters have been aggressive early in the count. 2 balls and no strikes. And the 2-0 to Billy Hamilton. And the catch is made, and there's 2 down.
Well, he throws the ball pretty good, pretty straight, but you can see he's got enough to get in on some folks, especially early in the game when you haven't seen him a whole lot. So he's got a little life on his fastball, even though he's missing his location just a little bit.
Sal Romano, a 23rd round pick by the Reds, all the way back in 2011. He enrolled at the University of Tennessee, took a couple of summer courses, and then the Reds signed him 2 days before the deadline for $450,000. UT coach not happy, but texted him good luck, and here he is in the big leagues. So 2 outs and 2 on. Jose Martinez. Yike! Yike! Get out of the way. Jose Martinez, happy birthday. He's 30. A lot of bus trips, long nights in the minor leagues to get to this point in his career. And the 1-0 pitch to Martinez. A strike. Jose on the year with 13 home runs. He's driven in 57. And really good numbers in this spot. Some of the best in baseball with 2 outs and runners in scoring position. The 1-1. Fastball to 96.
Romano is just pumping fastballs in there. Going to challenge you, and that's probably one of the reasons why he gives up the home run. But you got to like the effort. He's coming out there and he's throwing the fastball and trying to get ahead.
First 2 reached, then a line out by DeYoung, fly out by Ozuna, and the 1-2. Just a bit low. Jeff Kellogg, the crew chief and home plate umpire. Going to look at the back foot and how Martinez sets up in the box, deep in the box. Nearly 6'7". Then gets a little jumpy, a lot of movement.
Wait, I don't want to be that close.
And the 2-2 pitch. Martinez puts it in play, chops it up the middle. Who wants it? Oh, they collide and the ball gets away. And the bases will be loaded. Up the middle, Jeanette, the second baseman, and the shortstop Peraza coming together on that play. And it's a base hit for Jose Martinez.
Something you don't see every day, huh? A full-blown collision on the infield. It's got to be the shortstop's ball. And
absolutely, his momentum taking him to first.
yeah, I don't think that the infielders don't really call the ball on a ground ball too often, but right there, I think that's probably what was needed. I mean, Peraza's probably just got to call off Scooter Gennett and just say, I got it, I got it, I got it. But still, that's the shortstop's ball. But I think that Gennett's just being aggressive there, depending on where he's playing, taking a shot at it.
The shortstop, though, he's going towards the bag at first. That's his play. That's his ball. The Cardinals now with the bases loaded. And Fowler takes a ball. A bloop hit by Carpenter and Molina. Line out by DeYoung. Ozuna fly out to center. Martinez an infield hit. Now the base is loaded for Dexter Fowler. Fowler came through late last night. Amir Garrett on the mound and an opposite field shot. And as Jimmy talked about, this ballpark, you get away with it. For a pitcher, you don't. 2-run homer, number 8.
Pretty good piece of hitting, too. Staying back, driving the ball the other way. It's a big home run for Dexter Fowler.
Pitch taken high.
Be nice to see him get one from the left side of the plate now.
A hitter's count, 2 balls, 1 strike. And the next to the Cardinal right fielder. 2-2. Fowler kind of shaking his head.
Tied himself up a little bit right there. I think Dexter's pretty much a little bit in swing mode right now. I think he's trying to swing himself out of the funk that he's in from the left side. And sometimes you swing at too many pitches. You start swinging at balls out of the zone.
The 2-2 to Dexter Fowler. Taken high. A pickoff. And apparently Yachty thought that was strike 3. And Carpenter is safe. And the runners are back safe. Oh my goodness. The Reds, it's been 2 or 3 times they should be out of this inning. Molina apparently thought that was strike 3. That's my guess. And was coming off second base. It was ruled a ball. And the count is now 3-2.
I'm not really sure what happened here at home. I think to get this rundown going, he's got to realize there's just 2 outs. You got to get the out as fast as possible. And looks like he was worried about Yachty.
Slowly hit third base and out. The Reds will come away unscathed. An ugly inning. Jack Flaherty heads to the mound for St. Louis, emerging as a young star in Major League Baseball. Keep the rookies rolling. We'll see if that happens today. runs in the top of the first. Here's Jack Flaherty, start number 16, a record of 4-4, ERA just above 3. Jimmy talked about it during the open. 5 starts in the day, and he's 3-0. One of those quirky stats, in an ERA right around 2.
Yeah, especially with all these night games. He's doing a good job of getting up and getting himself ready. But I mean, this is just part of this young man's persona. He's going to be a gamer on the mound. He's out there. He does a great job trying to get ahead. Love the fire.
Love it.
Love the way he goes after his job, his business, and I just look forward to watching him pitch each and every 5th day.
Jose Peraza at the top. Remember the previous series earlier this month in St. Louis. Peraza had 11 hits. And the first pitch taken for a ball upstairs. It's turned into the everyday shortstop here with the Reds. Second pitch from Flaherty is popped up into shallow right. And Fowler with the catch. Jim Riggleman's lineup. Peraza at the top. Then Scooter Gennett, all-star. Joey Votto, all-star. Eugenio Suarez, all-star. Then Barnhart, Duvall, Irvin, Romano, again the pitcher, batting 8th. And Billy Hamilton batting 9th. Scooter Gennett with 16 home runs, and he's driven in 63. And trying to bunt his way on and pushed it foul. Switched his number to number 3 this season. He is a big fan of Dale Earnhardt. Wonder if Kenny Wallace is watching us today. He doesn't miss many Cardinal games, I guarantee that. And the 0-1 pitch by Flaherty. Gennett, born in Cincinnati, lived in nearby Lebanon, Ohio, until he was 9, and then the family moved to Sarasota. One ball and 2 strikes. Remember when Flaherty first came up, had the look of a young kid. A little bit nervous. You could certainly understand why. And now you watch him, it's an aggressive nature of how he goes about it. There's a slider, and it swung on and missed.
That was nasty.
Good play by Molina, too.
Just a tight slider. Overthrew it a little bit and got away with it. But it goes to show you it's stuff that this young man has.
Really good play by Molina to keep that in front. The batter, Joey Votto. When you were playing with Joey, did he choke up like this?
Not as much. I think this is something he's done a little bit more lately. He choked up a little bit, but especially with 2 strikes, he really gets up there on the bat now. I think he's always been choked up a little bit, but like I said, I think it just gets a little bit more and more each year.
2 outs and nobody on. A ball and a strike to Joey Votto. Harrison Bader's in center field today and shifting a bit towards left center now with a 2-1 pitch. 2-2. Cardinals defensively today around the horn, presented by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. Ozuna, Bader, and Fowler in the outfield. On the infield, Carpenter, DeYoung, Munoz, and Martinez. Yadier Molina behind the plate. Time called by Votto as he steps out. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Cardinals getting back-to-back starts from Daniel Ponce de Leon and Austin Gomber, which they took no hitters deep into the game. Ponce de Leon, 7 innings, no hits, no runs, walked 3, struck out 3. And Gomber, 6 1/3, and a 2-out walk. Jim Edmonds, your Toyota key to the game.
Well, you said it. The rookies have been rolling, right? Keep them rolling. Jack Flaherty just going to need another big start for him. I think you said earlier, this is a pretty big game to win. Get a little momentum going. Go home, day off, regroup. It's been a lot of change and a lot of stuff going on in that clubhouse. So just got to get them off to the right foot. I think this could be a big boost than having these 3 young men go out there and pitch well in 3 straight games.
Here's Suarez. And he looks at a ball. Before the 2 starts by Ponce de Leon and Gomber, both of which were quality starts, Cardinals rotation had gone 8 straight without a starter pitching through the 6th. So they needed that, and they got it. And the 1-0 pitch by Flaherty. Here's Austin Gomber. Jed Jerko on the left. It was Suarez that hit the 2-run homer off of Gomber. He just gets better and better and better. Suarez does as the days go by. I was talking with a scout today about that, and they said his plate coverage is completely different from where it was, say, a year ago.
That ball he hit the other night, the first night for the home run, was a changeup, I believe, and it was off the plate away. He got all over it and pulled it into the seats.
And a 1-2 pitch. Hits it out to deep right. It's at the wall and it's gone. Goes opposite field. There's your plate coverage. And home run number 22 to make it 2-0 Cincinnati.
It's all about staying back, using that weight. It's another ball off the plate. It's a good piece of hitting right here. You can see how strong he is. His body's not even really into that pitch. Just stayed back enough and hit the barrel. Good ballpark to hit in the daytime.
Here's Tucker Barnhart. There might not be a better offensive park in baseball.
Well, especially out to right center and right. I felt like left field still is pretty fair. The ball does carry here a little bit. Seems to jump, though, going towards the river.
No balls and 2 strikes, and Barnhart for Suarez, home run number 22. He's now driven in 76 on the year. Hit out to left, and Ozuna will make the catch. 2 out, 2-run homer, and a 2-0 lead. Added in the National League with 76 after that 2-run homer. Let's turn to our Kia drive to success. Jairo Munoz, since the All-Star break, he's played a little bit of third, some second base, the outfield. 375, a home run, pair of doubles. He's driven in 5 and scored 2. And also ruined a beverage. How come that didn't make it on the graphic?
One beverage ruined.
And showing bunt and strike 1. Didn't like that call. See him shaking his head. Hitting .293 on the year. 6 home runs, and he's driven in 28. The Reds against the Cardinals this year, it's primarily been playing catch up. If you go back to the Sunday game in St. Louis before the break, first time a Reds pitcher has taken the mound with a lead. 6 games, 57 innings. Remember, Monday was a walk-off, and they never had a lead or held a lead in the entire series against Pittsburgh. Big gap in left center, and the 0-2. It's a fly ball to Billy Hamilton, calling for it. Makes the catch. The batter will be Harrison Bader. Jimmy, when you watch Bader play defense, do you think of a better defensive outfielder right now than this young man?
I mean, I think he does an amazing job. It's, you know, I still think we haven't seen the potential that he can get to. Not getting to play every day. He's really going to be better when he gets familiar with the hitters around the league. I think it does a great job of getting jumps, puts himself in good position, but this is where he's going to get his playing time right here. Is he's got to be able to be consistent at the plate.
And he's been getting from right-handers slider after slider.
Yeah, we talk about that a lot. Is just got to start figuring out when to take the pitch instead of trying to hit it. I think sometimes you just have to give pitches away for your own benefit to buy something else to swing at. And I mean, you got to learn to take borderline pitches so you can work your way into getting into either a fastball count or a mistake pitch. You just can't keep going out there and swinging at sliders in the dirt or sliders down and away, as it's just not how you're going to make a living.
And a strikeout of Bader. First strikeout for Romano. All Sundays, starting 2 hours prior to every home game. Those Sunday home games got prizes, ice cream in the Ford Plaza. It's presented by Prairie Farms.
That's the tough thing about being a bench player or a part-time player, is you want to go out there and prove that you can play. Well, you can prove that by taking a walk, stealing a base, versus trying to go out there and get a hit and be in swing mode. And I think that's just something that comes with a little bit more playing time and a little bit more age.
0-2 the count. Flaherty taps it foul. We had really great strategy last night, whether or not Gomber would stay in the game. Does a pitcher hit for himself? That is the beauty of the National League.
Well, I talked to Mike Schilt this morning, and that whole thing was a bluff. All the way through, he did a great job. He had a guy up in the bullpen warming up. I even asked him, I think that at one point that someone walked over and shook
Mike Maddox.
Mike Maddox shook his hand. That was all just trying to get them to pitch. to the guy at the plate at that time. Nice job, I thought.
Yeah, that's fooled.
Well, I would have walked in for sure if I was the visiting manager.
You can stream games live on your mobile device. Just download the Fox Sports Go app, log in, and stream the Cardinals. Jack Flaherty just got out to the mound to finish up his warm-up tosses. While we have a moment, let's check in with the third member of our broadcast crew, the great Jim Hayes.
Hey, Danny, the Cardinals don't win last night without Jairo Munoz making that throw to third base on the Casale bunt in the 10th inning. Mike Schilt told Jairo right after the game, "You won it for us." Jairo told me the credit goes to Yadi. Munoz said, "I had my back to the play. Yadi told me to go to third. I always listen to Yadi." Munoz started the season going 2 for 20. He's hitting 320 since. Plus, his defense has really improved. Mike Schilt told me, "I give Jairo a ton of credit. He broke camp with us, and it's tough for a guy to get acclimated to the big leagues coming off the bench, especially a guy used to playing every day. He's been growing as a player, and you could see it." And Dan Jairo not only playing very well, but able to play a number of positions.
Jimmy, what else did you take away from your visit with Jairo Munoz?
Well, he told me that, he had some defensive struggles early on this season. He had 9 errors over his first 33 games. He says he's been working with Jose, but he never lost belief in himself. Even offensively, when he was in a 2 for 20 stretch, he told me he always believed it would come around. He worked hard, and now it has.
All right, Jimmy, as always, great stuff. Jairo Munoz at second base today. That really was the play of the game last night. I think about the great teams that you were a part of, Jimmy, and those teams are so good defensively. Roland, yourself, 8-time Gold Glover, Yadier Molina, Albert Pujols, Larry Walker, Renteria, Vina. I mean, list goes on and on of very good players. Where you guys would win games with your gloves. You played error-free, but also the chances that you would take. You yourself at center, Pujols on bunt plays. Yadi was a guy that, with the game on the line, was not afraid to try to pick somebody off. You took chances, and that's how you won games.
You just take advantage of the other teams either being aggressive or just not being good enough to compete. And I just think you have to go after people when you have a chance. And you're right, Albert was amazing at throwing the ball to third base on bunt plays, and Yadi picking behind runners. It's just all part of it. You start to get a confidence level where that's going to work out, and if it doesn't work out, you go after it. You go after the next person, and I think that that's something that not only did the defense do well, the pitching staff did so well also, as they knew that all they had to do is go back out there and make another pitch and get another ground ball, or a play will be made, and you know, success was right behind that.
Second strikeout for Flaherty. Phillip Ervin, the right fielder, strike one. He is the first baseball player drafted out of Samford University, not Stanford, Samford, which is in Birmingham, Alabama. As a matter of fact, he's the highest drafted pick in school history in any sport. They're in the Southern League. He was an all-star, the minor leagues. And he looks at a slider low. He was the 27th overall pick by the Reds in 2013. The 1-2. Anytime you have that first round label on you, there's a bullseye. There's pressure on not only the individual player, but the team to get him here to justify the pick.
Tell you what, he's got a good looking swing too. Could be something to watch.
He had the walk-off hit against, or rather the no-hitter that was broken up against Jordan Hicks, with one out in the 8th in game 1. And that's held on to by Molina, and a strikeout. Number 3 overall in the second in the inning. The pitcher Sal Romano, Missouri Lottery Fox Tracks.
That good sinker by Jack Flaherty right there. I mean, it doesn't matter what kind of swing you have. It's a tough pitch to put in play.
And a pitch taken high. The 1-0. Missed a little high, now a little low. Two-0 pitch. 2-1. Last time the Cardinals started 3 rookie pitchers in a row. Back in 1997. They've done that here in this series. And he strikes out the side here in the bottom of the second. Coming up, the top of the lineup, Carpenter, Molina, and DeYoung. $2.99. And you'll get every out-of-market regular season game live or on demand. Take advantage of this special offer. MLB.tv. It's really an odd first inning for the Cardinals. Shift on for Carpenter. He picks up a bloop base hit. Probably should have been caught. Wasn't. Ruled a hit. Molina, bloop base hit to right. Then Martinez. Uh-oh, watch out. Boom. 3 hits, and then this happened. Molina thinking maybe it's strike 3 on the call. It's not. Now the Cardinals in a rundown with the bases loaded. Everybody safe. So 3 hits, and the Cardinals, though, could not capitalize. Carpenter on the first pitch. Taps it foul. I asked Matt the other day, I said, how do you explain the kind of run that you're on? He said, it's when you see any mistake and you punish it.
That's a pretty good explanation.
Just barrel it up. Now Suarez is homered today. His hard hit percentage 52.2. Carpenter right behind him 51.6. 3 infielders on the right side. Big gap in left center. The 2-1. 3-1. He has the uncanny ability to hold up his swing.
Yeah, he drops that barrel and just is able to control it. It's amazing. You think every time I think he's going to go around, it never makes it all the way to where the difference is between the strike and the ball. It just seems to stop.
31 doubles now to lead the National League, and leads the league in extra base hits with 56. Ozzie Albies with 53 for Atlanta. The 3-2 pitch, and Carpenter sends a fly ball out to center. Hamilton back and makes the catch as that ball carried nearly to the wall. It brings in Yadier Molina. Base hit to right, first time up. And a strike to Molina. How about Yadi? He's had 1 day off with all the day games on this road trip. And I would guess at this point in the season, you've got to push. Molina never, ever wants to sit. Off day tomorrow, and the Cardinals say, well, go ahead. Here's a 1-1.
Well, he knows his body, and I think that that's the key. He'll know when it's time to take a day off. Sometimes you like to have that day off before the off day, give you 2 days. I always felt 1 day wasn't enough, and it was just kind of a disruption in my program. I'd take the 2 days. I feel like you can get a lot more out of the 2 days than you do just one. I always felt like 1 day off just made you stiff.
Until Scott Rowland told you you better start running after games.
Yep, and then he would run on the off days.
Thought I saw where Scott Rowland is now going to IU, Indiana, to help out with their baseball program.
I have heard that. I haven't seen that official, but I definitely heard that. Good for him.
Jason Mott is doing that with Memphis. And Molina sends a fly ball into shallow left center, and the catch is made. So 2 outs, and the batter will be Paul DeJong. Did you see a finer third baseman in your time playing? Not close.
No, I thought he was amazing. I don't know if in my generation if there was a better third baseman, and I still haven't seen one. So talking about coverage of about 20 something years of baseball that I've watched, and I don't know if I've seen anyone close to as good as he was.
Nolan Arenado.
He's pretty good. I mean, I guess if that's the one guy that's out there, yeah, I would give a lot of credit to him. It's different when you watch a guy every day and you see the little things that he does so well. But they talk about Arenado as special as he is.
That's out to deep left center field off the bat of DeYoung, and it's gone. Sneaks over the wall. And Paul DeYoung gets the Cardinals on the board with home run number 9. And it makes it a 2-1 Cincinnati lead. Cardinals have been waiting for this.
Well, he knew he got this too. Look at the way he runs. It's one of those guys, when he hits the barrel, the ball seems to go a little bit further than everyone else's.
We were doing some games in spring training 2 years ago. Wind blowing in. Roger Dean, and he hit one out in right center. That's when you thought, wow, this guy's got some power. And the Cardinals getting that from the shortstop position, Paul DeYoung. The 2-0 now to Ozuna. 2-1.
I think you go back to like we were talking about with Roland and Arenado. I don't know the exact stats, but I think that the 5 Gold Gloves in the first 5 years, and he averaged 30 home runs and 130 RBIs, the first and only person to ever do that. I thought that was remarkable. I meant beyond remarkable.
This will be Duvall who makes the catch. Paul DeYoung with the home run, number 9, and he's driven in 23 this year. 405 feet off the bat. The Cardinals get on the board. Day baseball on Fox Sports Midwest. And it's a 2-1 Reds lead. Billy Hamilton, Jose Peraza, and Scooter Gennett. Third baseman Carpenter in, as well as Martinez at first base. And a slider taken for a ball. The 2-0 pitch. There's a strike, 2-1. Flaherty struck out the side in the bottom of the second. He struck out 4 thus far. Gave up a 2-run homer to Suarez with 2 outs back in the first inning. So Ponce de Leon and Gomber, and they're combined 13 1/3. They walked 5. And now the second walk for Flaherty. Strike zone is tight.
Yeah, Jeff Kellogg's not giving him a whole lot to work with.
You can join us for Cardinals Hall of Fame weekend, August 17th through the 19th, presented by Edward Jones. Are you getting dizzy trying to name all of the Cardinals in the Hall of Fame? Well, we can help. Sunday, August 19th. 30,000 fans take home a one-of-a-kind Dizzy Dean watch courtesy of AT&T. Cardinals.com/promotions. And a ball to Jose Peraza, fly to right, first time up. Thought the strike zone was tight on both sides here initially. League leader in steals is Starling Marte with 25. Taylor of Washington with 24. Inciarte 23, and then Billy Hamilton with 22. Big lead at first base. He wants to run. He's not going. Didn't get a good lead in terms of a feel for it. And it's 2 balls and no strikes.
Interesting, Jack holding the ball right there the first couple times, and Billy actually took a couple steps back. The first time he threw the ball at the plate, Hamilton was actually going back to first base, so that's a good job by Jack Flaherty, kind of keeping him out there, letting his legs get a little flat.
And a double play ball. Munoz steps on the bag. It turns into 2. Hit the ball on the button, but right at the Cardinals' second baseman.
Nice little hop there. Ball's hit hard, but side of that mound just kicks it right up there to Munoz. I don't know if I'd call that tailor-made, but that was a pretty good one right there. I don't know who Taylor is, but some nice double plays over the years.
The two outs, and a strike to Scooter Gennett, who struck out on a slider in the dirt his first time up.
It's more of a mound-made double play right there.
Yeah. Gennett is among the league leaders in hits with 115. Top 10 in runs driven in. And he came in the top 6 in average at 313 for a guy that was looking for a job at the end of spring training a year ago. The 1-1. It's amazing in this sport how guys can just figure it out.
I mean, I'm telling you, not being involved in a day-to-day basis like you, I just have, I don't know what it is, but it seemed like that 4 home run game that we watched here with him just catapulted him to another level. It's like all of a sudden he decided, okay, that's all I have to do. Confidence level, pitches that he hits, the ball that he hit in the All-Star game, down and in off the plate. He used to have a bigger swing, try to do too much. Sometimes you get to the realization that you really don't have to swing that hard to hit a home run, and that can change everything.
And the 3-1. Drives it out to right center for a base hit. Circled by Fowler, and he'll hold Jeanette to a single. Extends the inning to Joey Votto. Chief Fowler did a nice job circling that baseball and was ready to throw just in case.
Scooter Jeanette showing what most people don't. It's hustling all the way on just a routine base hit.
Votto walked and scored back in the bottom of the first. He has 77 walks, tied with Santana of the Phillies. Bryce Harper with 80 for Washington to lead the National League. And an on-base percentage of .420 right now for Joey Votto. .420. Nearly half of the time he's getting on base. And Molina maybe slowing Flaherty down after the base hit and realizing that all of a sudden you got one swing of the bat with Votto up. It's 4-1.
Yeah, and I think he's just missing. I don't know if he's pulling off a little bit. Ball's kind of tailing on him, running away from the lefty. Or if he just wants to let him know that maybe some of those pitches aren't as good as they look. But a couple of hitters there where he was right around the zone and didn't get the call, and then now more off the zone. So every now and then you got to go out there, just reassure your pitcher that just keep throwing strikes. I'll be back here with the umpire and I'll work on it. I'll start getting you some of those pitches. Just don't give in.
It's a ballpark that sees its fair share of offense, to be sure. Runs per game at the Great American Ballpark, nearly 10. Talked about in a game combined 10, 6th highest in Major League Baseball. Two balls and no strikes. The next two, Joey Votto. 3-0. Jeanette normally not a threat to steal. Three and one. Cardinals head back home this weekend with the Cubs in town. Should be hopping in St. Louis. Luke Weaver, Mike Montgomery in game one. We'll have it for you on Fox Sports Midwest. The 3-1 pitch. And a strike on the inside corner. Fly ball lifted out to deep left center. On the move, Bader with the catch. Outstanding play. The Heart and Hustle Award winner of the Cardinals, and one of the best defensively in all of baseball. And he shows us why. Harrison Bader on the track in left center. As we head to inning number 4. Scott Rowland, by the way, named Indiana Baseball's Director of Player Development. So he'll do some recruiting, work with the coaches, preparing the team for games and practices, and also advice for players pursuing pro careers in baseball. That's the role for Scott Rowland, who was recruited by Bobby Knight to play basketball at Indiana.
Yeah, someone's going to be on the wrong end of the stick with him because he's a tough guy to please. That guy's a hard-working, no-nonsense, old-school ball player. Speaking of which, I just had a nice little surprise. I went in to get a Diet Coke in between innings, and who did I run into? The great Joe Morgan.
Is that right?
Pretty awesome. Just sitting right there, right in the hallway.
The Hall of Famer.
Hall of Famer. Some kind of player. It's pretty cool.
He's working for the Reds in their front office. Part of the Big Red Machine. So many years as a broadcaster. You probably saw him a bunch with Sunday Night Baseball. Did you visit with him?
I mean, what you have to. Yeah, I was.
Why are you here then? Go back there.
I was 10 seconds late coming back here because you have to stop and go say hello to a person like that.
Your arms are full of goosebumps.
It's pretty awesome.
Joe Morgan statue outside the ballpark.
I think that if you don't show players like that respect, then you're missing out.
Without question. 3-2 the count. He'll occasionally pop on the air and Reds telecast. And the 3-2 pitch. The strikeout of Martinez. Second strikeout for Romano.
It's a pretty good pitch right here. He's known for challenging guys and making mistakes with the fastball. So gear up and get ready for the fastball, and makes a good pitch with the slider. It's the big leagues, man.
We do it. You got to have a little twang to it.
I don't have that twang.
Try it.
You got it. Let me hear it.
The big leagues, man. You know, I'll never forget, I was fishing in '77 and ran into Joe Morgan. Then he'd have some kind of story about Joe Morgan. 1 ball and 1 strike. That's our partner Tim McCarver, who's headed to Cooperstown for the Hall of Fame induction ceremonies this weekend. Bob Costas will receive the Ford C. Frick Award. Those two very close over the years. Bob carried a rain delay for us. It was his bobblehead night. We had a rain delay before the first pitch. And I had asked Bob to come up beforehand and visit with us during the game, and he said absolutely. And then we got a hold of him and said, well, could you come in earlier while the rain delay is going on?
Help.
And so instead of going over to the studio, Bob came in the booth. Normally we have rain delay programming. And that night, the interview with Bob Costas was the #1 rated show on television in St. Louis. A rain delay. That's what people think about baseball and Bob Costas in St. Louis.
Tell you what, that guy has seen a lot of stuff in his day.
Ooh. 3-2, base hit into right off the bat of Dexter Fowler.
Stories he must have, the places he's been. Can you imagine doing every major sporting event? You just see Dexter Fowler talking about swinging your way out of it. Just keep on swinging, Dexter. Go from major sporting events inside the United States to doing the Olympics and traveling all over the world, all over the globe, as they say.
I loved his later show, where it was not only sports figures but entertainment, political, and he was just sensational. Costas now on HBO. I asked him, I said, what's left for you to accomplish, or what do you want to do? And he said, I want to do baseball again with my A game. I want to feel like I felt when I was doing the game of the week. And that's what really motivates him at this point. He's done a ton of work for MLB Network and some of the specialty shows. Cardinals start the runner, and with that, Fowler into left field. He'll stop there, and Munoz will head to second as the throw comes all the way in.
Great job by Munoz. I was hoping, I'm pointing already from up here just to keep on running, maybe draw the throw so Dexter can keep running, and instead just telling you, this kid's getting better by the day. Every day he goes out there, he's getting better. Better with the glove, better with the bat, and better on the bases.
And Jimmy, you start the runner, you start motion, you start activity.
I love it.
And maybe you start that air by doing this.
You do exactly what you do. And I was talking to Mike Schilt today about yesterday's game, about starting Fowler, getting something going, see if they're going to pitch to Munoz or to walk him and get to the pitcher's spot. And it's all about just getting motion and forcing people to make plays. And I just think I truly believe that is something that they've lacked in the last year and a half. And hopefully that will just open up some games for them.
So 1 out, and Bader.
You know what I got today out of talking to Schilt, and I actually wasn't even running the conversation. It was me, Ricky was there, Ricky Horton. And to me, what I got from him is he's not afraid. He's not afraid to just he reminds me of a little bit of Joe Madden. He's going to run the game his way. He's not afraid to start the guy, put pressure on the defense, make them make a decision about who to pitch to with the pitcher on deck, and throw guys out there for a bluff. I just think it's impressive because he could really just kind of do his job right now and sit back and let it just play out. And he's trying to push the envelope and get something more out of his players.
I love it. It's a fun brand of baseball. Aggressive. Runners at second and third.
I thought it was interesting, and you made a comment, I think it was last week, and if the team doesn't hit, you look flat. If the team doesn't play defense, you look bad. And those are two of the things that have happened, and it's not a bad team. And at times it's not a flat team, but that's the perception when those components aren't working. When you don't hit, your team looks flat. Everyone looks lazy. You get no motion on the bases. And look at what one base hit and setting a runner in motion can do for you. All of a sudden, you're talking about an upbeat tempo of a team, which it's only 2 hitters.
And a different feel, different look to the inning. 0-2 the count on Harrison Bader. Struck out back in the second. And he strikes out here in the fourth. And it's up to Jack Flaherty. So runners at second and third for Flaherty, who grounded out his first time up. I asked John Mozeliak, the president of baseball operations, to describe Mike Shilt's managerial style. I'm paraphrasing here, but he said very, very aggressive and erring on the side of being aggressive in winning. And he'll take every chance he can to win that game that night. And he said actually when he would go down and watch Mike manage in the minor leagues, he said he had to remind him sometimes, we love the wins. It's about development though too, but we love the way that you're going about it. And the Cardinals are feeling that here right now, I think.
But I think that's the development is also teaching players how to play the game in their own way, learning how to play the game, giving them a chance to learn the feel. And that's kind of what spring training is all about, right? So you go into spring training, the manager says, okay, everyone's got the green light. I want everyone going first to third. And it's all about, you're going to run and you're going to play hard until you prove that you're really not ready for it. And I think that that's kind of the idea in the minor leagues. You can teach as they go. But if you don't ever give them the chance in the green light, they'll never figure it out.
And Flaherty strikes out. He's rung up by the first base umpire, Quinn Wolcott. Cardinals strand a pair. by St. Louis Children's Hospital and Washington University Physicians, guardians of childhood. And by Toyota. Let's go places. Jack Flaherty just got out to the pitching mound, and there's Austin Gomber, who was terrific last night. With more on that, we check in with Jim.
Yeah, Gomber had a no-hitter going into the 7th last night, Dan. Coincidentally, that's when the emergency siren and flashing lights kicked on. It caused a 6-minute delay. Gomber gave up a single and a home run soon after, but he says the interruption had nothing to do with it. He told me it wasn't in the middle of an inning or anything like that. I just didn't make good pitches. Gomber, in fact, pitched very, very well, and it meant even more to him being part of the string of rookie starts. He came through the system with Ponce de Leon and Flaherty. They were roommates in Peoria. He told me, I told both of them, I'm proud of them. I've learned so much from you guys. Dan, the official explanation, by the way, for the sirens and the lights last night, a detector unit malfunction. Detector unit malfunction.
What was the feeling in the clubhouse about that? Not just with Austin Gomber, but for Mike Schilt and some of the others that you talked to.
Well, I think they at first were like, what's going on? A couple guys said they had never experienced anything like that, and they didn't know what was going on. Gomber told me that someone came over to him and said, hey, you want to take a seat? You know, it might be a couple of minutes. And he actually said at the time he felt it was a good thing because he had been on base and it gave him a little bit more time to catch his breath. But Gomber saying it had nothing to do with giving up the single then the home run. Dan.
All right, Jimmy, thank you. We're underway here in the home half of the 4th, and it's 2-1. Suarez with the 2-run homer back in the 1st. I talked to Ricky Horton, who's working on the radio side today. He said as a rookie he had a no-hitter. It was something like 7 1/3, whatever it was, 7 2/3. But it was in San Diego, and the Chicken had some type of celebration going on, and he was out on a horse, and they had a delay in getting the horse off the field. And he said it totally affected him during his chance at a no-hit bid. He lost it because of a horse and the chicken.
What came first, the chicken or the horse?
The 2-2. And a strikeout on a slider of Suarez. 5th strikeout for Jack Flaherty.
Good slider right there with the down break.
The batter is Tucker Barnhart, fly to left. Gold Glover last year. There's been 3 in Reds history that have won the Gold Glove as a catcher. Barnhart, Johnny Edwards did it in the mid-60s, had 2 of them. And then Johnny Bench, multiple Gold Glove winner. That's pulled foul. What's interesting about Barnhart, he grew up in Brownsburg, Indiana, which is near Indianapolis. In his freshman and sophomore years, he caught Drew Storn as a junior and a senior, and Lance Lynn was also on those teams. Now, if you've got 3 major leaguers, I would like to think that they won a lot of games and state titles. And if not, who was coaching those teams?
What happened?
Here's a 1-2 pitch. Pounded into the ground and foul. The 1-2. Got him. Back-to-back strikeouts and 6 today for Flaherty.
Take a look at this. Another slider right there. Just does a nice job. He challenges guys, make them get out there, want to pull the trigger, and then throw that slider in that zone that's just unhittable.
He's 22 years of age, and he's averaging 10 strikeouts per 9. Not many have done that, to be this young and this dominant in strikeouts. Go back to 2006, the last to do it at the age of 22, to do what Flaherty has done. There was Francisco Liriano when he was with Minnesota. Mark Pryor and Kerry Wood did it with the Cubs. Dwight Gooden in 1984. That's how good this guy has been. This is what we're talking about. 22 or younger, 10 or more strikeouts per 9. There's not many Cardinals that have been 22 or younger and an ERA of 3.15. Only 4. Jack Flaherty, Shelby Miller, Bill Schertle, Steve Carlton. The 2-1 in the air out to deep right. Fowler back. He'll look up and it's gone. Adam Duvall, an opposite field home run. And it's back to a 2-run Cincinnati lead.
If you're a right-handed hitter in this ballpark, you almost have to try and push the ball over there. Hit it on the barrel, it seems like you got a great chance for a homer. Good place to aim.
So 2 outs and nobody on, and Phillip Ervin, 7th place hitter. Is yanked foul. 1 ball and 1 strike. Who will be leading these teams at the start of next year? Both have interim managers, Mike Schilt, Jim Riggleman. Jim Riggleman got things turned around after a sluggish start, but you'll see his club out early doing BP, extra batting practice, fielding practice. That happened immediately after he took over. He changed some of that.
Look at that pitch right there.
Throws him. 7 strikeouts. 3-1. Copyrighted telecast presented by the authority of the St. Louis Cardinals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the St. Louis Cardinals. It is a glorious day here in Cincinnati. Weather is perfect. Jim Edmonds, Jim Hayes, Dan McLaughlin with you, our entire Fox Sports Midwest crew. And Carpenter looks at a strike.
Tell you what, it couldn't be any better for these 3 days we've been here, could it?
Usually it's muggy and blistering hot. Kind of nasty rain. I believe this is the last time we come to Cincinnati this year.
I believe so too.
So we'll be done on the road with Cincinnati and Milwaukee. Inside the Central Division, final stop at Wrigley Field will be at the very end of the season. Two-one pitch, pulled foul.
Got a couple more good stops along the way, though. Got Atlanta, Washington, D.C., Chicago again, like you said.
Carpenter rolls it up the first base line. Votto to Romano. He's Otto. Look at you. Fox Sports Midwest is proud to be an official Muni Centennial media partner of the Muni this season. Don't miss your chance to see Gypsy on the Muni stage July 27th through August 2nd. To purchase tickets, go to muni.org. You wanted me to say it, and I did it. Here's Molina. And a ball. Next road trip is 3 cities for the Cardinals. Homestand is Chicago and Colorado. 3 with the Cubs, 4 with the Rockies. Popped up. Votto over near the stands and out of play. That is Johnny Bench's son, Bobby.
And the Brock umbrella.
The Brock umbrella. It's a giveaway many years ago, very popular. My understanding, Lou is feeling great and heading back on the road to do some business, some signings and appearances.
Good for Lou.
Molina base hit, and he's 2 for 3. I saw the goosebumps on your arm when you were talking about Joe Morgan, and I was thinking about what it must be like wearing that red jacket on opening day or Cardinals Hall of Fame, and you start rubbing elbows with the Cardinal Hall of Famers, Lou and Red, and when Red was still with us, and Stan when he was still with us, and Ozzie and Bob Gibson, which you had the chance to do.
Yeah, those are pretty special days, but get a chance to see those guys a lot, and it's pretty neat when you see guys from other organizations that you grew up watching on TV. Especially a guy like Joe Morgan, who you see in so many highlights from World Series and big games and All-Star games. I think we get spoiled with the guys that we see every day in St. Louis.
Shallow left, and the catch made by Duvall for out number 2. DeYoung homered back in the 3rd inning, and now it's Ozuna. Marcel is fly to center and also to left field. bouncer to short. Force play at second, and the threat is through. Midway through 5 on the banks of the Ohio. It's 3-1. Destroying homes in several communities. Red Cross quickly responded with disaster relief and continues to support those affected in Marshalltown, Iowa. If you'd like to make a donation, call 1-800-RED-CROSS or go online redcross.org. Our thoughts and our prayers with those families. (3-1) our score. Jack Flaherty struck out 7. It's got Romano and Hamilton 8, 9, and 1. Barraza coming up in this inning. Cardinals about hit the Reds 6-3, but 2 of the 3 hits for Cincinnati have been homers. 2-run homer by Suarez back in the first, a home run by Duvall, both coming with 2 outs. I like what Mike Schilt had to say about Suarez. Hit a game-tying home run in both games. He said, well, quote, he's not on our Christmas card list right now. You can understand why.
I think I've been on those bad lists before.
And the 0-2. Strikeout number 8 for Jack Flaherty. And the batter is Billy Hamilton. Hamilton walked back in the 3rd inning and erased on a double play. Well, Flaherty's got that breaking pitch working, doesn't he?
Yeah, that's a nice one right there. I like the fact that he's dropping in that breaking ball to go along with that fastball and slider. Gives you just another look at something different than the fastball.
No balls and 2 strikes. The next by Flaherty. Into center. Bader won't get there. So on an 0-2 pitch, a single by Hamilton.
Just missed his location. You can see when that ball runs back over the plate. Talked about explaining the 4-seam and the 2-seam earlier. And that's kind of the thing too. It's like Sometimes righties will throw the ball, a four-seam fastball inside to a left-hander to keep that ball from tailing back across the plate. You want it to stay inside. Has a tendency, you have a tendency when you miss and for the ball to run back over, and then see what happens when the ball runs back over the plate.
Well, here we go again. The game within the game with Billy Hamilton at first base, 22 steals, and one of the best behind the plate in Yadier Molina. (3-1) our score. Long look by Flaherty, and ball one. How much is decided from Mike Shildt in terms of holding the ball, throwing over, pitch outs, all that?
I think most of it, if not all of it, comes from him. He's giving suggestions, but this is what he wants to see. I think you try and take as much out of the pitcher's mind, out of his hand, but out of his mind as you can, and you're just trying to give him ideas on holding the ball. I don't know about the slide step as much. I would say slide step 2, but the idea is, like I said, to vary your looks, but when they hold the ball, they want the runner at first base, his legs to get a little flat. You can see Billy Hamilton's used to that, so he keeps his feet chopping, and he's trying to stay on his toes the whole time. But you can also see if you hold the ball long enough, he starts to get a little flat-footed and retreats, because now he knows in his own mind, okay, I don't have my best lead anymore, and I'm kind of confused, so I'm going to retreat, thinking he's going to throw over, or I don't want to get thrown out.
1 ball and 1 strike. Ooh, very close at first base. Cardinals will take a look at it. Jose Martinez pointing to the dugout to challenge, and the Cardinals will. Cardinals will challenge. That's got to be a lonely feeling for Billy Hamilton. Usually if teams do this, they're saying we got a pretty good look at it, enough to say let's take a chance. Well, he's out.
Pretty good tag by Jose Martinez. The one disadvantage for the right-handed first baseman is he can't get that tag there as fast. Played with a guy, JT Snow, over in Anaheim, and he let the ball travel to where the fact that he just dropped the tag. So he literally caught the ball behind him and went straight down with the tag instead of reaching for the ball and pulling it back. I've never seen, he reminds me of Javi Baez with how quick his hands are. JT Snow started that a long time ago.
And indeed, he is picked off. That's a big out. So the call is overturned.
Pretty good feat by Jack Flaherty right here, too. And to throw the ball in the money is important.
One minute and 2 seconds on the review. That's big right there. That could change this inning.
Nice quick review, too.
Get the speed of Hamilton off the bases. Flaherty makes the play. How about Jack Flaherty? The quick feet on the pickoff, and then a fine play to end the inning. Sends us to the 6th in a 3-1 game. Cardinals mystery BP pullover, courtesy of Coca-Cola and Schnucks. You'll be surprised at the gates when you discover which Cardinals player you get to rep. Might be Molina, DeYoung, Carpenter, Ozuna, Fowler. It's August 17th. Cardinals.com/promotions. Still some seats available for this weekend, with the Cubbies, our friends to the north, coming south to Busch Stadium. There's Jose Martinez as we move to the 6th inning. 1 for 2 with a single and a strikeout. First pitch swinging to short. 1 pitch, 1 out. And the batter is Dexter Fowler. Four of his 8 home runs this year have been against the Reds. And for his career, he's got 12 against Cincinnati, his most against any team. Dexter is 1 for 2 with a base hit to right. Cardinals start play today. Game above the 500 mark. 7.5 out in the Central Division. Cardinals now a game and a half back of Pittsburgh. They continue to win 11 in a row. Milwaukee a game and a half back of Chicago. One and 2 the count. The next by Romano. Tapped foul. Do you ever smell your bat in a foul ball and smell burnt wood?
Sometimes, yeah. I never really stuck it up there to my face too often, but you can definitely smell it. But mostly it's the one when you foul straight back.
Ted Williams in the home run derby at Fenway Park called over Mark McGwire and said, when you foul one back, do you smell burnt wood? And I never heard that till that time. Now I see players do it all the time. Full count on Fowler. And I used to always wonder, why are they smelling their bat?
Now you know.
Now I know.
Now you know.
3-2 pitch and a walk. Second time that Fowler has reached base. Our What's on Tap is presented by Budweiser. The Cubs in town after the off day tomorrow. The matchups for the weekend: Luke Weaver, Mike Montgomery, Miles Michaelis, and Jose Quintana on Saturday. John Gant, Kyle Hendricks on Sunday. And Budweiser, What's on Tap.
Might be a little sick of the Cubs after this next series, huh?
Yeah. Munoz drives it left center. That ball is down. One hops off the wall. Fowler all the way from first, being waved in. Throw to the plate is wide and over the catcher, and Munoz winds up at third.
Tell you what, I've seen some throws by the Cincinnati Reds defense this week that has been unbelievable. He overthrows the catcher by 10 feet.
Hamilton got to the ball. And that's a second error on Peraza today. And with that, the Cardinals have a chance to tie it up. Now, they have not ruled it an error, but I've got to think it's a double. Then he takes third on the error.
Just go third on the throw.
And I guess that's what they're going to say. Take third on the throw and no error. All right.
I think maybe the error would be if they didn't think he was going to score. Then you have to give the error, but a little loophole in the situation allows them to just go to third on the throw and save the error.
Well, this becomes another important at bat for Harrison Bader. 1 out, runner at third. He had this spot back in the 4th inning. Infield is drawn in. It's a 1-run game. And ball 1. Thinking ahead here, what happens if Jack Flaherty comes up at 81 pitches and you have first and third and only 1 out at the off day tomorrow? The only problem is it looks like Hicks and Norris will be down today. You know, do you want to go into that bullpen? Just something to think about.
That's hard. It's hard to take him out right here, I would think.
I would too.
Be nice to see Bader put the ball in play and really take it out of the hands of the manager.
And the 1-2 pitch to Harrison Bader. Struck him out. He's had a tough day with 3 strikeouts, twice with a runner at third and only 1 out. So now the infield plays back. And Tommy Pham will hit in this spot.
What makes this, I think, a tougher decision too is there's 2 outs. So the chances are not as good. I can see with 1 out, you're definitely sending him up there. The 2 outs, you're taking a gamble, and you've got to make your decision and stay with it.
To me, this plays into what I had mentioned earlier. He manages aggressively. You know, he's rolling the dice here, saying that Romano is at 98 pitches. You got a guy in Pham that's been swinging the bat pretty well since the break. He's going for damage here. And you have a guy in Gant that's pitched well. 0-1 to Tommy Pham. Up the middle. Oh, Romano barehands it. It stays a 1-run Cincinnati lead. strikeouts today. Again, his last relief appearance was Miles Michaelis in the Sunday before the All-Star break, and he had 4 outstanding innings. He has been a very valuable piece to the Cardinals' rotation, bullpen, swingman. He's done a very nice job.
Also be nice, maybe see if you can't get 2 or 3 innings out of him right here if he can pitch well and don't have to use anyone else. And also keep him in that middle role where he's going to get some pitches, and if you need him for a spot start, he's still got his pitch count worked up, and if you don't, you just kind of use him as you need him.
Another young arm in the Cardinals system. Here's Scooter Gennett, 3-2 our score. Fly ball, right center, and it'll drop for a base hit. Flaherty, Reyes, Gomber, Weaver, Gant, Ponce de Leon, 26 years or younger. So the future is bright. The one that just stings this year, the loss of Alex Reyes, changed a lot in the rotation, and then the residual effect of what it meant to the Cardinals' pen. There's Joey Votto. Gennett, by the way, 2 for 3. Votto has walked and scored in the home run by Suarez back in the first, and also flied to center. I would think that that fly ball that was hit by Gennett is one that Fowler or Bader would love to have back.
Well, I just feel like Harrison's been really deep all day. And sometimes you got to take that chance. You got to move in a little bit for those. That's the ball that you would like to see caught as a pitcher, because he makes his pitch, jam shot or off the end of the bat. And I'm okay with giving up a double and throwing ball right down the middle, and the guy squares it up.
Two 2-0 the count on Votto. Two and one. Big gap in right center, and a 2-1 pitch to Joey Votto. Fly ball lifted down the left field line and out of play. And you can hear some choice words even all the way up here from Joey Votto. Two-two pitch.
That's the pitch right there that I like. I would go to the grave saying that that's the pitch to get Joey Votto out with 2 strikes. You're going to get beat once in a while, but I think you're going to get beat more with trying to be fancy with him and throw him breaking balls, and you know he's going to take anything that's a ball. So got to believe you got to challenge him just like you do some of the old-time guys that were good hitters with 2 strikes. Paul Molitor's name came up today when we were eating lunch, and he was just so good at just taking away every pitch. And when you made a mistake with 2 strikes, he's just going to hit it out of the gap. The base hit. Just made his living at getting base hits against your best stuff. And people didn't really pay attention to it till the end. When if you challenged him, you made it tougher on him.
The 2-2 pitch to Votto.
What you're doing, you're by challenging him with a fastball and making a good pitch, you're making him make his mind up now. He doesn't have time to see the ball and then try to foul a pitch off. And pretty funny too, back in the day when I first came up, talked about Tony Gwynn. Well, do you pitch him in? Do you pitch him out? I said, throw the ball down the middle and let him have to make up his mind which way he's going to hit it. Because if you throw it away, he hits it to left. You throw it in, he pulls it. So some of these, there's hitters that are so good sometimes you just have to go right after them.
3-2. They start the runner. And the pitch was a ball. So walk after the single by Jeanette. And now it's time for Built for Baseball, brought to you by T-Mobile, with Suarez coming up. And he's had a heck of a series. Game-tying home run. Game-tying home run. And earlier today, another homer. So nobody out. Suarez, 2-run homer in the first. Runners at first and second. The breaking pitch, it drops in.
You know who is the guy who benefits most from Joey Votto's plate appearance is this guy hitting right here. Wonder why he's got 76 RBIs.
You think about that changeup, maybe get him to reach, get a ground ball here. The 0-1. Soft liner out there, and a double play. Jeanette doubled up at second base after Suarez broke his bat.
Well, hit a nice pitch right there inside, and pitching in aggressively will get you some big time outs, and it did right here. And DeYoung making a nice play, getting rid of that ball quickly. At first I thought he was going to try and tag him, and he's got no chance to catch him from behind. So Paul DeYoung making a nice play, just getting rid of the ball, getting it to second base.
Here's Tucker Barnhart, who's flied to left and also struck out. Votto a short lead at first. Changeup taken low. It's good changeups, boy. They're tough to hit with a guy that can get it into the mid-90s.
Yeah, it's really a tough scenario to look for a good fastball and then try to stay back on a changeup, especially if it looks like the fastball with that same spin.
Two balls and no strikes. Cardinals will have the top of the lineup coming up. They're trailing 3-2. And that's hammered. Deep right field. And a long home run off the bat of Tucker Barnhart. It's now 5-2 Cincinnati. Sixth home run for Barnhart. The Nissan drive in the game. He's now driven in 31 on the year. Here's Duvall. The Reds with 3 home runs today. Breaking pitch and strike 1. Boy, you thought Gant was going to get out of this.
Laughing at the umpire. Sorry. You call a ball 6 inches off the plate. When I love when the hitter turns around and asks him about the pitch. He says, "Yeah, it's a good pitch. Good pitch."
2 strikes.
You know the difference between a good pitch and a strike? The ball actually has to go through the strike zone. This is the worst explanation in the history of mankind, is that's a good pitch. It used to aggravate me.
0-2 the count. And the 1-2. The check swing did not go. The 2-2 up and in.
That's a pretty good reason why you can't dive out over the plate and look for a changeup from a right-hander right there. You guess changeup there, take one right in the chin.
3-2 pitch. The second walk issued by John Gant. And the batter will be Phillip Ervin. Ervin has struck out twice, 0 for 2. And ball 1. So Gant falling behind here, and a couple of walks in the inning in relief of Flaherty. Pitch count at 20. And the 1-0. Breaking ball, and it's pulled foul. And it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. I would assume to get that Vulcan grip going in a glove, it's got to be tough to do that.
I haven't really watched too much and see if he sets. It's in his glove, so obviously he doesn't set that, but that's the challenge, is to get in there and get that pitch without letting people know it's coming.
And a base hit into left.
Like that.
Third hit in the inning allowed by Gant. And John Brebbia has just picked up a baseball and starts to throw in the Cardinals' pen. Big League Impact presents the first ever St. Louis Dave & Buster's Olympics, hosted by Michael Waka, Miles Michaelis, Adam Wainwright, Mike Myers, Sam Tuivalala, and Tyler Lyons. Colton Wong, Dexter Fowler. Play video games, test your super shot basketball and skeet ball skills. That'll be Thursday night at 6. Dave & Buster's. BigLeagueImpact.org, and that's the fantastic organization started by Adam Wainwright. He's done an awful lot for many people in St. Louis and across the world. Dilson Herrera, pinch hitter. 5-2 our score. Runners at first and second. The 1-0 pitch by Gant. And the 1-1. One ball and 2 strikes. Gant to Herrera. Did not go. And it's 2-2. The 2-2. And he struck him out. Home run hit by Tucker Barnhart. And it's now a 5-2 Cincinnati lead. By the score of 5-2. We're in the 7th inning. Numbers on Hernandez this year, his 32nd appearance. We saw him appear in game 1 of this series. Carpenter coming up. It's the Gateway Honda home run inning. Cardinals hit a home run. The Gateway Honda dealers will donate $1,000 to the Make-A-Wish Foundation of Missouri. Carpenter today, a single, little bloop hit to left, fly to center all the way to the wall and grounded out. And the first pitch hit into the shift as Votto has to get back to the bag. Took him a little bit. One pitch and one away. Kubota power stats. Cardinals home runs this season. 7th inning or later, they have 42. The Kubota power stats. A 2-hit day for Yadier Molina. Well, it's interesting. John Gant scheduled to start Sunday against Chicago, which would be the start in terms of days between for Austin Gomber potentially. Something to think about. Gant 20+ pitches. 1 ball and 1 strike. Outfield straightaway, not very deep for Yadier Molina. And the 1-1. And a high fly ball lifted out to deep left field. It's at the wall and it is gone. It's a home run for Molina to make it a 5-3 Cincinnati lead. Yadier Molina just helped the Gateway Honda dealers donate $1,000 to the Make-A-Wish Foundation of Missouri. A 3-hit day for Molina. 2 singles and now the home run. .36 and still going strong.
Charitable guy too, doing it in the right inning. He's a giver. He's got to get a couple more runs.
Here's Paul DeYoung. He's homered today. That was back in the 3rd. A little tardy with that swing. 1 ball and 1 strike. The 1-1 popped up, now in fair territory. The catch made by Suarez. And Marcell Ozuna will be the batter with 2 outs and nobody on. Ozuna today has flied to center, flied to left, and grounded into a fielder's choice. Ozuna off the end of the bat, and that'll be a base hit. It'll bring in the tying run to the plate in the form of Jose Martinez. So Marcell is now 1 for 4. His reaction after this base hit. Finally.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
So now 2 outs and Jose Martinez representing the tying run, and things have just gotten interesting right here in Cincinnati. Martinez bounces it up the middle, gloved by Peraza, and a force play to Jeanette. Cardinals pick up a home run from Yadier Molina, his 14th of the year. And with that, it's time to stretch. Home run by Yadi, and it's now a 5-3 Cincinnati lead. by popular demand. That's Friday night. Stay in your seats after the game. Fireworks, Cardinals and the Cubs. And tickets still available. Cardinals.com/promotions. Yadier Molina keeps on moving up in Cardinals history. One swing of the bat, he ties Ray Langford. 8th all time in Cardinals RBI. And Bill White in home runs. That was number 140. Here's John Brebbia in our Chevy call to the pen, his 29th appearance. And a strike to Billy Hamilton. StatCast powered by AWS, and a guy that'll spray the ball all over the place. And even with 2 strikes, Carpenter in on the grass at third. Martinez in at first. 5-3 our score. And a strikeout of Hamilton. By the way, I was talking about Adam Wainwright's charity outreach program, bigleagueimpact.org. And if you go on the website, you'll see what I'm talking about with the impact that Adam has made, not just locally in St. Louis, but literally worldwide. Building a hospital now to drinkable water, non-diseased water, saving lives. And tomorrow at Dave & Buster's at 6, you can join Adam, and many of his teammates will be there. But for tickets, bigleagueimpact.org. Check it out. It's really worth doing it. And congratulations to Adam and his family for all they've done. It's tomorrow at 6, Dave & Buster's. Here's the 0-1 pitch. One ball and 1 strike. Crowd today 20,940. 20940. Pitch in the dirt. Hyundai pitch arsenal on Brebbia. Fastball, slider.
He's thrown 2 curveballs all year, not 2%.
That's probably right.
Pretty much fastball, slider. Good velocity and a pretty good slider.
The 2-2 to Bader in center, and the catch made. Jimmy, John Brebbia with an umbrella. Nothing strange with that, is it?
Well, yeah, he was walking around on the field with the umbrella with the sun shining, apparently reading a book called Manipulative Therapy and Rehabilitation of the Locomotor System. He was also wearing a fanny pack, Dan. He looked to be out of place walking around the field where guys were sprinting. I said, "Did you lose a bet?" He said, "Yes." I said, "You want to tell me about it?" He said, "Not really."
That is funny.
John showed up in spring training, and I literally didn't know who it was.
Clean shaven.
Yep. That's hit the other way. Ozuna in the corner, over his head and off the wall. Jeanette to second base. And John came up to me. He said, "Hey, Dan, how was your off season?" I said, "Great."
Who the heck are you?
How are you? I had no idea who he was.
It's like when the people over your shoulder say, introduce me, and you're like, I can't. I don't know who it is.
He's a character. John, is that you? Yeah. There's Joey Votto. Two outs and a runner at second base. Votto 0 for 1 with a couple of walks today. Two and 0. So when you were talking before with Votto up, are we giving hitters too much credit?
Well, I don't think that people are understanding. It's not even that. It's just that Joey Votto's a different type of hitter. And a lot of guys are worried about throwing fastballs because he's got such good bat speed. But you have to realize that a guy like this is actually looking off speed when he gets to 2 strikes. Most hitters put guys away unless they're overpowering with their off speed stuff. And so Joey's going to look for that because it's more, that's the more of the norm. And there was a lot of hitters over the time that were like that. And Paul Molitor came to mind today as one of the best. And you could tie him up with a fastball. You hope that to foul off the fastball as the hitter, but you're not going to get beat or swinging a bad slider. That's kind of how Joey approaches it with 2 strikes.
2-2 the count.
He's trying to foul off your good stuff until he gets to a situation where you make a mistake.
I know he may frustrate some fans that watch him every day because they want him to be a different type of hitter in a 3-hole. I could watch him hit all day. I find him fascinating. I think he's a remarkable talent. I think he's a future Hall of Famer. He is a great, great player. Time called.
Having some kind of conversation with himself right now too.
Yeah. 3-2 pitch. Fouled back.
That's what I'm talking about right there. That's a good job by Joey fouling that pitch off, but I like that Brevia just coming and challenging him. I mean, I'm not talking challenging him with 90 to 91. I'm talking when you got that kind of fastball that John's got, make a good pitch, you can tie him up. There's going to be that rare occasion where he's going to cheat, knowing that that's what he's looking for. And if you make a mistake, he's going to hammer it. But other than that, I think that if you show him that you can throw a breaking ball, he's going to have to look for it a little bit.
3-2 pitch. His 3rd walk of the day. Here's Suarez, who now is the league leader. Runs batted in the National League. The last to do that for the Reds was all the way back in 1985. Dave Parker had 125 for Cincinnati that year, and he's the last to lead the National League from Cincinnati. So 2 outs and 2 on. And a strike. One pitch. Taken high. Here's a 1-1. Outfield just about straight away, and a 2-1 pitch. 2-2. Difference right now in the game, the home run hit by Tucker Barnhart. Reds have hit 3 today. Barnhart's came off of John Gant back in the 6th inning.
Suarez doing a nice job of fouling off some really good pitches by Brebbia. Try to throw the fastball, try to throw the slider. It's a guy like this who's not really making a whole lot of movement. He's just fouling off good pitches. You don't really know what he's looking for. Make you second guess every pitch that you throw.
3-2. Got him. Strikeout for Brebbia. It stays a 2-run Cincinnati lead as we head to the 8th. A 2-run lead. Yadier Molina 3 for 4. Jack Flaherty went 5 innings. He struck out 8. Scooter Gennett 3 for 4. And Suarez, he did it again. Another 2-run homer in this game. Jared Hughes, the new pitcher for Cincinnati. The Cardinals have Fowler, Munoz, and Bader. Dexter Fowler, a single and a walk, a run scored today. Cardinals down by 2. We're in the top of the 8th. Fowler is also grounded out to third. Inside, and it's 2 balls and no strikes. Two and one. Three and one. And it's a leadoff walk, and the tying run will come to the plate. Want to buy or sell tickets at the last minute? Get the StubHub app, and you can grab 100% MLB verified tickets until the first pitch. Sell your extras to another fan. Get the StubHub app today. StubHub, an official partner of the Cardinals. So with a 2-run lead, leadoff walk to Dexter Fowler. And now Jairo Munoz. No one up and throwing in the Reds' pen. Hughes has had a very good year. Munoz with a double back in the 6th inning. And a strike. Munoz also reached on an error by the shortstop. Fly to center. A check on Fowler. The 0-1 pitch. Ground ball left side. They'll get the lead man and no throw to first. I thought that ball may eat him up.
Looked like it was going to. It just got a lucky hop there. I think that ball bounced in the grass and kind of stayed kind of simple, but one more. Yeah, it stayed right in the grass. That ball hits the dirt, man. That rubber ball bounces over his head, especially at that top spin.
Well, Harrison Bader has come up with a runner at third and less than 2 outs twice tonight, rather this afternoon, and could not bring that runner in. He'd love to atone for that. 1 out and a runner at first. But you know, Jimmy, in this league, until you show you can hit the pitch they're getting you out with, you're just going to get pounded. And in this case, it's Bader with the slider.
Yeah, and sometimes then that kind of messes with your head a little bit, and you start to think slider. And then you saw in the at bat before they threw him a fastball and he couldn't pull the trigger. This looks like he's feeling a little bit for it right now. He doesn't have really the typical Harrison Bader swing. Kind of like a little bit on his heels, trying to just try to keep the ball away from his hands. When you start thinking about stuff like that, he's kind of dead in the water at the plate.
Greg Garcia at the on deck circle. 2 balls and 1 strike. Two balls and 1 strike. Outside, and it's 3-1. 3-1 pitch to Bader. What do you think he's getting here on 3-2?
You know the problem with hitting is, who knows? But I have to say, you're going to have to take your chances with the fastball right here if you're the pitcher. Cannot put the tying run on base with a walk.
Three and two. Leadoff walk by Dexter Fowler. Three-two pitch. Got him. Strikes out for the 4th time. So with that, it's Greg Garcia, the pinch hitter, with a runner at first, Dexter Fowler. 5-3 our score. Strike one on Greg Garcia. Third baseman Suarez, even with the bag at third, they'll hold it first. And it's a ball and a strike on Garcia. He falls behind again. Before this game is through, you still have to go through Carpenter, Molina, and DeYoung. Carpenter at the on-deck circle. The 2-1. Chopped foul. 2-2 the count.
You know Hughes has got a good sinker. As you see,
yeah.
every time somebody swings out to that fastball, the ball's actually ending up below the strike zone. So coming out of his hand like a strike and finishing up down underneath the strike zone.
Two, base hit into right. Munoz to third, and Matt Carpenter coming up. The tying runs are aboard. The go-ahead run at the plate.
Nice job getting a pitch a little bit more up in the zone. Pulling it right there in the hole.
If you're the Cardinals, this is all you could ask for.
Get your guy to the plate. Chance to tie up the game or to put you ahead with one swing, especially in this ballpark. He's gonna have to do a good job of getting the ball elevated here, though. This is a guy that you really have to pay attention. Make him get the ball up in the zone. Don't chase down. Take the walk if he can't get it up.
Shift on the
chase.
infield.
Sorry.
First pitch to Carpenter. Inside. Cardinals have hit a pair of home runs today. Paul DeYoung back in the third. Yadier Molina in the 7th. The 1-0 pitch. 2-0. This is where he's so good, so tough, doesn't expand his zone, even with a high leverage situation.
This is just what I'm talking about, the difference between a young hitter and a veteran hitter. You just know that he's going to throw you sinkers. You just have to take them until you can get to one you can hit. And try and go out there and hit the sinker just because you know it's coming. You look for a sinker in that area. You got to visualize what you're looking for when you walk up there and what area you want it to start at in order for it to be a strike for you to hit for your own personal swing.
Two and one the count. Carpenter pulls it foul. 2 balls and 2 strikes. This might be your game right here. Having said that, Barnhart wants to make sure they're on the same page. Talk it over on this 2-2. Two pitch to Carpenter. Hits it down the right field line. It is foul. Oh, so close. Probably started fair and then turned over foul. It's another 2-2 pitch to Carpenter. And that one is pulled foul. Get the feeling he's starting to lock in.
Yeah, he's staying back nice.
Munoz, your runner at third base. Greg Garcia, he's at first. They represent the tying runs. The 2-2. Old foul again. Eighth pitch of the at bat coming up. Number 27 of the inning. Cardinals about hit the Reds 10-8. Reds with 3 home runs. Cardinals with 2. Two on, 2 outs, 2-run deficit here in the top of the 8th. The 2-2. What a cut.
You're trying to figure out what Barnhart was doing right there. He kind of put his hands up like they were going to pitch over or something, and then threw a fastball right down the middle.
He has been one of the hottest hitters in baseball. Again, a 2-2 pitch inside. Full count. Michael Lorenzen just got up in the Reds bullpen. What will Carpenter do? What an at bat. The 3-2 pitch. And he draws a walk. A remarkable at bat from Matt Carpenter, and the bases are loaded. 10 pitch at bat for Carpenter. That is a big league at bat right there.
Definitely is. And you just draw out the pitching coach, come and talk this over, but now you put a lot of pressure on this defense and the pitching staff, because one mistake now is big time trouble.
So the base is loaded for Yadier Molina. And our BJC Healthcare difference makers. Paul DeYoung with a home run. That was in the third. And then Yadier Molina in the seventh. Yadi is 5 for 18. He does have a home run against Jared Hughes. Well, base hit could tie this game. Molina with 3 hits, the owner of 5 grand slams. Two outs and the bases loaded for St. Louis. And ball one. Nice play by Barnard. You got to wonder if Jared Hughes is starting to run on fumes right now after that really tough at bat with Carpenter, and this will be pitch number 31 of the inning.
It starts to become a mental grind too, I'd imagine. He's trying to figure out now what pitch he has a good feel for, what pitch he doesn't want to make a mistake with.
Season high has been 42 pitches in an inning. And the 1-0. Molina with a fly ball into right. And Hughes will get out of it. Cardinals strand the bases loaded. 5-3 our score. Whenever legendary MLB moments happen, Budweiser will be there. And by Ford, going further so you can. For Budweiser plays of the game, the Reds home runs. They've hit 3 of them today. Suarez, a 2-run shot. homered in every game of this series. Adam Duvall hit one to the opposite field. Tucker Barnhart, this 2-run homer off of John Gant. The Budweiser plays of the game. Luke Gregerson is in. Cardinals about hit the Reds 10-8, but trail 5-3. Chevy called to the pen for Luke, just his 17th appearance this year. Here's Tucker Barnhart. First pitch, a ball. He's had knee surgery this year. He's been banged up, and not many appearances for Luke Gregerson. 2 balls and no strikes. Two and one. Cardinals will have DeYoung, Ozuna, and Martinez coming up, looking ahead to the top of the 9th. 2-1 pitch. 3-1. And it's a leadoff walk. Adam Duvall, the 5-3 game with the runner at first base. And he hits it out to left. Ozuna over, won't get it. One hopper off the wall. And runners at second and third. Nobody out here in the bottom of the 8th. Now with the situation of runners at second and third, nobody out, infield is drawn in. Off the end of the bat, and that will roll foul. Phillip Ervin at the plate. Struck out twice and a single back in the 6th. 1 for 3. Smoked into the gap in right center. Past Bader and all the way to the wall. 2 runs will come around to score. And it makes it a 7-3 Cincinnati lead. Second hit for Urban.
Tell you what, Cincinnati's got some weapons coming off the bench with Urban and Herrera. These guys can both swing the bat. Not easy at bats when the situation is in crunch time.
Brandon Dixon now at the plate. Strike one. Oh, 2. Dixon at 194 with a home run. He's driven in 2. No balls, 2 strikes. Greg Holland has gotten up and starts to throw. Back to Gregerson. Ooh, he almost threw it away. The throw by Munoz out there, back to second, and safe there. And there's one away. Well, the key with that, of course, to run at the runner, make him commit back to his original bag and get him in a rundown.
Good old-fashioned PFP right there. You're taught to look the runner back and make the out, but no man's land, so got to give up the ball and get in a rundown. Good hustle right there, getting all the way to second base.
So Dixon at second. Now Billy Hamilton, who's 1 for 2. Single and a walk this afternoon. Felt like the Cardinals top half of this inning, they had him on the ropes. Real good at bat by Carpenter, drew a 10-pitch walk. Molina up with the bases loaded, fly to right. The threat was through. Reds have come back with 2 in the bottom of the 8th, and they lead it 7-3. Young has to be quick, and he is. There's 2 away. And with 2 outs, it's a runner at second base for Jose Peraza. He is 0 for 4 in this ball game. Austin Bryce, right-hander, throwing for Cincinnati in their bullpen. Here's a 1-0. 1 ball and 1 strike. Popped up and out of play. Young lady brought love to the ballpark and gets a souvenir. 1-2 the count.
Maybe watched the game yesterday. Thought he better bring up a glove. Sitting down low. Glove and a hard hat. Reminds me of they gave out hard hats at Dodger Stadium when Steve Sachs was playing second base.
That's tough.
Back in the day. Holy cow.
Here's a 1-2 pitch. And he did go. So strikeout for Gregerson. It's 7-3. Ball game, 10 hits aside for both the Reds and the Cardinals. 30th appearance for Bryce. And the batter will be Paul DeYoung. Paul with a home run today. That was back in inning number 3.
That was today?
Yes, sir. And the 1-0 pitch. Check swing. Bryce gloves and flips to first for the out. Brings in Marcell Ozuna. excitement here at the ballpark as Reds are trying to make it 2 of 3. Point you could hear a pin drop.
I was just about to ask you what you were looking at.
2-0 the count. Ozuna with a base hit, little flare to right back in the 7th. Two and two.
Oh, I'd like to have that one back. Probably his best swing of the day right there.
Three and two. Ozuna with a fly ball into left, and this will be out number 2. The final hope for the Cardinals, Jose Martinez. Off day tomorrow, back at it again on Friday night at Busch Stadium. Come your way at 6:30 with our pregame show.
Trying to figure out how he kept that ball fair. Oh, 6 inches in off the plate.
Yeah. That's how he didn't break his bat. So 2 outs and nobody on. And Jose Martinez. One for 4 today. 1 ball and 1 strike. If the Cardinals cannot come back, they will be 51 and 51. Seven to 3 the final. The strikeout of Martinez, and the Reds take 2 of 3. Tough day this afternoon for the Cardinals. Off day tomorrow, and Chicago in town on Friday night.